That's how it started. Actually, I was the provincial of the Lhasa order in this country. You know the Lhasa schools?
Mission school.
Mission school. I was a provincial for 9 years, 1991 to 2000. But after that, then I studied Chinese. After that, from there I went to into China. You know, after 86 days in Hong Kong, trying to learn Chinese, stand at the window and talk Chinese to myself. I went to China. So my first stage stop was in the Zhongshan Daxue. My friends were staying, teaching there, so I went and joined them. I taught for 2 weeks. Then I said to myself, no. These are not the kids I want to help. If they have made it to the university at Zhongshan Daxue, they are okay. There must be some poorer kids around, you know. So I left, and then I was running around in China, learning to speak Mandarin at the same time. Then, very strange, one day I returned to Hong Kong, and my nephew called me up. He works in Hong Kong. He's Uncle David. My papa wants to go back to China. He left China 50 years ago. He wants to go back. Can you accompany him there? He's 70 odd years old. I'm afraid he gets lost. So, okay, I said, yeah. At that time, I was only 50. I was 55 years old only. I was still very young. By the way, I'm born in 46. So now I'm 76 years old.
Wow. You're very young and
So anyway, that was how it started. And then so I took my cousin back to the village, you know, because you see, from young, my mother taught me something that I never forget. You know, I feel when I was young, I used to get angry. Chinese New Year, we were 4 sons in the family. I was the only one who has to recite Guangdong Taibu Chongka Bakong It's the address. I never knew it was an address. So, and my mom said, you have to recite, you are the youngest. So and with that I went home. Took my cousin home. And then, as usual, you must remember in 2001 when I went to China, Chinese people say like that. They look out, wow, we from Huaqiao come back, wow, these are the big people. We are so small. And the Chinese people hate only raised up after Olympics 2008. By 2001, they moved so fast that 2012 they had to stop it for a while. That is the era of when Hu Jintao said China has lost its soul. That's where 2012, all the government gave money to rebuild churches, rebuild temples, any places of worship. They wanted to go because they say China has lost its soul. No more spirituality. People are thinking only money and nothing. And to have spirituality, you need to have religion. That was 2012. And it was at that time, a lot of things happened. Anyway, so I went back to the village. My cousin told the people, you all need to have an English teacher here. Our children need to learn English. So the villagers, as usual, the secretary replied, where do you find such a man? If you find him, will he want to come? And if he comes, can you afford to pay him? So my cousin, who knows me, he said, no need, this man here, he doesn't want money. And that's how it started. So in September, I went there with my cousin. In October, I went there on my own to have a look. Then I came back to Malaysia, prepared. And then the following year, I went in. And when I went back, they got the surprise, oh, he came back. Because the experience of the villagers in China is that Malaysian, Asian go back, tell them all kinds of things they will do for them, go home and never come back again. It was a surprise to see me turning up. But I made a very good decision at that time. That is, I said, I'm coming back to China, not to give them what I have, but to find out what they have and help them to improve on it. That was my thinking. And that's why when I went back into China, they needed me to teach in school, so I taught in school. They gave me a room in the school. But whenever, I also made a very strong point in my own head. Whenever I need trouble, I will tell the secretary, then I move out. Then 10 days later, I come back, see whether you have solved it. If you have solved it, then I continue now. If you cannot solve it, if you want me to solve it, if you don't want me to solve it, then bye-bye now. I go home. So that was my plan. Actually, I had my first, after 2 months teaching in the school there, the headmaster called me to his office. He said, you can stay here, you can stay here, but you better not teach. So I said, I come back here to teach, and why not teach? He said, because the teachers are complaining, the students want to go to your class and don't want to go to their classes. In my mind, I said to myself, hey, you stupid headmaster, now it's your chance to tell your teachers, then this why shall come here? He works so hard, the kids like his lesson. You also must work hard so that the kids will like your lesson. Instead, ask me to get out. So I went and told the secretary, I said, I'm going away because you are the one. So I went away. So they said, oh. Then I came after 10 days, they're going to show off his back again. What to do with it? So anyway, made arrangement, I continued teaching. Then I knew it was not, I couldn't teach in the school anymore because the headmaster couldn't understand me. Couldn't understand what I was doing. Because you see, my target was very firm. I knew I need to be successful in China before people would take cognizance of my work. So I took a batch of primary 4 kids, I took a batch of Form 1 kids, and I took a batch of Form 4 kids. Because all this in 3 years' time they are going to do exam, promotion exam. I say if I can get all these kids in the village shoot up, that's it. So I did. So I went back. I knew I had trouble with it. So I walked around the village, and then I discovered one of my niece from my father's side has got a house in the village, but not living in it, very near the school. So I asked permission. They gave me the house now. So that's where I worked for 1.5 years teaching there. So teaching there and the 1.5 years in the school, and those were the 3 years. And after that, when the exam came, and my primary 6 kids did very well, Form 3 kids did very well, those kids going to the U did very well. That's it. So I got a name for myself as a good teacher. Just before that, they called me a Dian Gui, They called me a madman. Ya Bang, they call me deaf and dumb because I don't speak Chinese. I cannot, the Hakka also very hard, But now I can speak Hakka, I speak Mandarin. So that's how it started. So then I went back to the village, and I was told by one old lady there. They say the house that you say belongs to your grandpa is not your grandpa's house. They say was where your grandpa lived. He was born there. He said your grandpa was a very rich man. He built his own house, which is not far from it. So she took me to have a look, and I look at this house. I say it's quite interesting. So I said, who owns the house now? They say the village law is that any descendant of the owner can use that house. But I said, but then anyone goes. He said, you have a niece in the next village. So okay. So one day I asked somebody to take my dad and it's very strange, I went to the next village, I don't know who my niece is. I saw one lady running to the grocery shop because at that time they had no handphone. Still one phone in the whole village. There's only one phone in the whole village, So this lady was running to the village to take a phone and she was talking. I looked at it, I said, that's my niece. No, the guy who told me, how do you know? I said, I know that's my niece. So after that, he asked for her name, surely because she looks exactly like my auntie.
I see.
She has got my auntie's face. That's how, and then that's how the connection with my grandfather's eldest brother, my grandfather's eldest son children. So that's how I started to get in contact with them. So then after that, I knew about the house. I went to the village. I said, according to village rule, I have a right to the house. Okay? I said, I don't want the house actually, but I need to rebuild it. So can I, through the village, have a document saying, as long as I live here, that house is under my control. No problem. So they signed the house to me. So then I rebuilt the house. It collapsed already. It was all gone. Yeah. So that's how it started. And then from that house, we became so famous. We have students from Mongolia, from Xinjiang, anywhere, all over China they came. You read my story, you will know that.
Yes.
So that's how it is.
Wonderful.
Then I won one award after the next one. I had an award in Harvard, award in Major, award in Guangzhou, award. Even the temple gave me an award. Yeah, all kinds of things. And finally was this one, the award in Beijing. Actually, in my first 3 years, I refused to let reporters and TV people come near me, you know. I blocked them all. Until one day, you know, Beijing called me. Beijing called me and said, hey, we want to interview you. We are sending the Ultra meeting. That means all the top media people to interview you. I said, no. He said, by the way, you are brother David now. Oh, I said, okay. That means they already investigated. They knew who I was. Yeah, come.
我唔食飯。
你唔食飯。
OK。
而家嗰啲。No, I think we asked for 4 plates only. One empty plate.
Oh,
幾多？
俾我飯。
So that's how it is. Come,
Wonderful.
let's eat first and we
Oh,
talk
ah.
later.
Yes.
Where greater, so many people became so rich and the gap between the rich and the poor is so much. Then I went through the era of Hu Jintao, who tried to consolidate it. And then now I'm at the era of Xi Jinping. Put it, stand down and say no, the wealth of this country belongs to everybody. You know, all top companies in China today, there was a call. There was a call for people to go to work in China. It's under a project called Project 100 Plus. A call for some brothers to go and work in China. No one volunteered, so I volunteered.
Oh, there was a call.
There was a call. There was the Lhasa brothers worldwide. We were looking for 100 brothers who would get out of their normal work and do something that other people have not done. So that's how I started. So I went to China in 2000. I went to Hong Kong first, 2001. I studied Mandarin for 3 months. Yeah, learned on my own self-taught. It's very strange actually. When I was young, my father and mother wants to teach me Chinese. I refused from where you are and what you do. So that's why it's very important for us whenever we go. If you want to learn the language, you have to stay there with the people.
Stay there for some time.
Yeah. And that's why even the Chinese, they were surprised that I just spent more than 20 years in one village, one same house, without going away. Yeah.
Oh, you actually stayed there for 20 years.
20 years. Wow. Dedicated your life.
All blended in. You have like, you know, part of them, part of the village.
Yeah, in China, what they did was they gave me what they call 居留金. I have residence permit in China.
Oh, okay.
So whenever I go into China, I can stay as long as I want. There's no limit. I can stay 6 months to a year. You know about that. But I don't. Because for me, it's every 6 weeks I go back to Hong Kong.
Oh,
Because that's where the Lhasa brothers community is. So I go back to the
oh,
community.
that's very hectic.
Yeah. In the beginning, it took me 2 days to travel. Now it takes me 8 hours.
Oh, because the train is there.
So it's much faster now. The way they have developed the place is incredible. I think as far as train is concerned, no country can beat them.
$1 like